everyone. So today we are going to make beef macaroni, kind of like a homemade hamburger helper. So if you're new to my page, my name is Jen and I love to teach cooking classes. So if I'm not teaching and I like to cook something at home, then I put everything together and share it with you. So thank you for being here. I really appreciate your support. So today, like I said, this is kind of like a homemade hamburger helper. So, and also this is something that I already have in my fridge and pantry, so I don't have to go out and get this stuff or whatever I'm making, right? So try to do that. Try to make something and be creative of what you already have available. So I'm pretty sure that you have most of these ingredients already. I have elbow macaroni, some cheese, and the spices that we're gonna put together. And I'd like to add some onions and garlic. That aromatic gives so much flavor. And then the umami flavor from the tomato paste, and it also gives that acidity to our dish. And then to balance that, I'd like to add a little bit of honey and brown sugar just to kind of complement that flavor. Okay, if you're hearing that, that's my dog. I have a very old dog and he just likes to lie down there and sleep, and then when he wakes up he has this dry throat and then he just kind of like cough really sounds weird. That's what he does. So also I'd like to use Dutch oven because I find that the Dutch oven really distributes that even heat, and that makes a difference. It renders so much flavor to your dish. If you don't have a Dutch oven, just use a deep pot and kind of wide pot, okay? Because we are also using some broth and you don't want your stuff to overflow. Now, like I said, I'm gonna use whatever I have available. And today I have chicken broth and I'm using ground beef. But if you feel like, well, I'd like to use beef broth, so go ahead and use the beef broth. It's probably more, it's really, it's two different flavors, but I find that chicken broth also with other spices and other flavorings, and it comes together nicely too. Then we're gonna add the cheese later, at the end of our cooking. So let's go ahead and start and put everything together. We're gonna saute our onions first. Okay, now the oil is hot, so we're gonna add our onion. And just kind of saute the onions until it renders that really nice flavor. So now we're gonna add the garlic, and then we're gonna saute it, and then just until like maybe a minute or until it's fragrant. So you just saute the garlic and onion. So now we're gonna season it with some salt, and I like using red chili pepper flakes for a little bit of heat, but you could just use a regular ground pepper. And also we are gonna add all of that spices. This is, again, I know we sauteed garlic, but I'm still adding ground, a powdered garlic powder, and also dried basil, thyme, and oregano, okay? And like I said, you can use about 2 or 3 teaspoons, probably 2.5 teaspoons of Italian seasoning if that's what you have. And I like smoked paprika, and I'm gonna add that too. And then just kind of stir everything until they're all combined. And now we're gonna add the ground beef, okay? Now make sure that you kind of break the ground beef and just keep stirring it and break it, and so then you can really get that nice browning of the beef. So we're gonna cook this until it's no longer pink, we're gonna cook it, and then we're gonna add the rest of the ingredients. Okay, so our ground beef is already cooked. As you can see, it's no longer pink. So I'm gonna add the Worcestershire sauce, okay? And then also we're going to add the tomato paste. And like I said earlier, it's because of the acidity from the tomato paste. We want to kind of balance it a little bit. So I decided to add some honey and just a little bit of brown sugar. Okay, it really makes a big difference in flavor. It really balances that, and you have that nice savory, kind of a little bit sweet, but still good. And now we're gonna go and combine everything together. Okay, and then just make sure that all that flavoring is distributed all over the ground beef. Okay, so make sure we flavor our ground beef well. Okay, so I like making this one pot meal, or dish, because everything you put in one pot and it just cooks all together. So we're gonna add our dry macaroni. Yes, you don't have to cook the macaroni ahead of time. Just put everything in the pot and then just kind of stir it. Everything is just like, I'm dropping everything, it's just coming out. Whoops, okay. So, all right. They just like to fly out of the pot. Okay, now we're gonna add our broth. Like I said, this is what I have, chicken broth, but you can certainly use beef broth, all right? So just kind of maybe 2.5 cups now. And we're gonna let it simmer, okay? And we're gonna cook the macaroni. So let it simmer and let the macaroni cook. And then once the macaroni is cooked, we're gonna add our cheeses and we're done. Dinner will be ready in no time. So for this one, just let it simmer. Let the pasta or the macaroni cook. Like I said, you can use any pasta you want. You can use the rigatoni, you can use penne, any short pasta will do. Okay, so let's just wait until the macaroni is done. Okay, so now the macaroni is done. You cook it al dente. You don't cook it don't overcook it because it's gonna be mushy, but it's just like a hamburger helper. So what we're gonna do right now is half of the Parmesan cheese we're gonna add, okay? And then half of the shredded cheddar cheese we're gonna add. And then the rest of the cheese, we're gonna top our homemade hamburger helper with some cheese on top when we're ready to serve them. So see how nice and gooey. So now this is looking delicious and smelling so good. So now let's get ready to plate this. Also, I had some parsley flakes, but you can use fresh parsley and kind of just on top and kind of like garnish it with some parsley, and that would work too. So let's go ahead and plate this. All right, dinner is done. So this is our homemade hamburger helper. So let's go ahead and taste it. So much better than store-bought, because you can add as much cheese that you want and that really nice flavor, and the Worcestershire sauce really gives this a very savory flavor, and like we balance that flavor. We added a little bit of honey and a little bit of brown sugar, and that really brings that flavor, that balanced flavor, that harmony of flavor that we really love. And this reminds of when you're a little kid with that hamburger helper. Tastes so good. Now, you can eat this with garlic bread or just a side salad, like mixed green salad, or have like a bowl of fruit, and you're good to go. So again, everyone, thank you for being here. And if you have family and friends that need help with home cooking, please share this video. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.